The team at Technology for Hotels knows how busy you are, so we've created this concise briefing to keep you up to date on key happenings in the hotel industry. Let's dive in. Our mission today, really, is to distill the most important developments for you, the hotel industry leader. We want you walking away with insights, not just information. We'll be exploring significant new openings and refurbishments, the ones literally reshaping our physical landscape. We'll also dissect major acquisitions and investments, follow the money, see where capital is truly flowing. And we'll unveil cutting-edge industry trends fresh from recent conferences. And of course, touch on key leadership changes. They often signal shifts in vision and strategy.
Exactly, because it's such a rapidly evolving industry, just knowing what happened isn't really enough, is it? Our goal here is to offer insights into why these developments matter for your business, helping you connect the dots, between today's headlines and tomorrow's strategic decisions. We really want you to grasp the implications for your own operations, for your growth.
That's the core of it. So let's unpack this. Starting with our first exciting category. New properties and significant refurbishments. These aren't just building projects, they're powerful indicators. They show where demand is heading, how brands are evolving. First up, EVT Hotels and Resorts. They're transforming the Ridges Lakeside Queenstown into an expanded QT Queenstown, and this is more than just a rebrand. It's a substantial increase up to 221 rooms. And most of them get these coveted lakefront balconies. It's also adding high-end food and beverage, extensive conferencing spaces, a gym, pool, even facilities tailored for outdoor adventurers. This whole transformation kicks off in 2026, aiming for completion mid-2027. It really underscores that continued investment in, high-demand spots. Then, making its grand debut, we have One Hotel Melbourne. This is the first Australian property for Barry Sternlicht's sustainability-focused luxury brand. It's situated right on Melbourne's vibrant waterfront, developed in partnership with Riverlea. And this isn't just about looking good. It's a powerful statement on biophilic design, on using reclaimed materials. I mean, imagine this. A hotel integrating 7,000 plants, 4,500 square meters of reclaimed timber, over 2,000 original elements. It's quite something. And beyond that eco-conscious design, it offers a complete luxury lifestyle experience. Wellness center, spa, event spaces, even 114 branded residences, really blending sustainability with Melbourne's urban energy. And speaking of transformations, the W Brisbane just unveiled a vibrant redesign of its 32 suites. The narrative here, they're calling it a river dreaming, and it beautifully reflects the curves, colors, textures of the Brisbane River. You'll find these earthy terracotta and eucalyptus tones, metallic artwork. It evokes city lights on the water, plus custom furnishings. What's really interesting is how they've blended comfort with high-end tech, 65-inch TVs, sound bars, even Dyson Airwraps in some suites. And they've partnered with an Australian brand, Retreatment Botanics, for an exclusive suite-only skincare range, delivering that playful, luxurious, locally inspired feel. So, from a major expansion to a new build focused on sustainability and a creative refurb, what's the single biggest takeaway for hoteliers about what today's guests are really looking for?
That's a crucial question.
Yeah.
What stands out loud and clear to me is the increasing demand for, experiential luxury. And luxury that's deeply rooted in local culture and increasingly in sustainable practices. Guests aren't just looking for a comfy stay anymore. They want a unique story, an immersive narrative that connects them to the place. Whether it's One Hotel Melbourne's commitment to biophilia or W Brisbane's river dreaming, these properties are building narratives that resonate. This tells us that guest expectations demand authenticity, a connection to place, and importantly, a demonstrable commitment to responsible practices, not just high-end amenities. So for your business, it means thinking beyond just the room. Consider the whole story you're telling.
That point about deeper connection really hits home. It sounds like guest expectations are really moving beyond just the fancy extras to something more holistic. Okay, so if that's where the guest experience is heading, what about the money, the financial currents shaping our industry? Let's turn to the significant investments and acquisitions, these money moves that often reflect both the challenges and the opportunities out there. A huge one recently, Star Entertainment Group securing shareholder approval for that substantial $300 million rescue package. That's about US $195 million. It was overwhelmingly approved, over 98% of proxy votes, and it's led by the US casino firm Bally's Core and the Mathieson family, who are already Star's biggest shareholder. Now, this deal, it involves convertible notes and subordinated subordinated debt instruments, basically loans that can turn into shares and are lower priority for repayment. It effectively grants Bally's and the Mathewsons about 56% control of the company's capital once it's all fully converted. And this is a landmark moment, really. It marks Bally's first investment in Australia, though it's still pending regulatory approvals, of course. Star has been facing intense regulatory scrutiny, mounting debt, so this cash injection is critical. It keeps the company going, avoids voluntary administration, especially after other bids fell through. As part of their survival plan, they've also been selling assets, like a stake in Queen's Wharf, Brisbane, a Sydney theater. Bally's chairman, Sue Kim, seems eager to move forward pending their probity review outcome. In other exciting news, Paradox Hotels is making its Australian debut. July 1, 2025, they're rebranding the iconic Radisson Blu Plaza Hotel Sydney at 27 O'Connell Street. That building is heritage listed, rich history back to 1856, former home of John Fairfax and Sons, then Bank of New South Wales. It's amazing how these landmarks keep reinventing themselves, isn't it?
It really is a great way to preserve history while adapting.
This new Paradox Sydney marks the brand's entry into its sixth country, adding to their global portfolio. CEO Tae-Jo Kim describes it as a strategic milestone, fitting their ethos of hotels with soul, reflecting local culture. Good news for continuity, too. GM Peter Toothope is staying on. The 364-room property will get a gradual, brand-aligned refresh, but stay fully operational. And then the Amora Group has acquired Hilton Adelaide. Big plans there, too, an OU $60 million transformation. The signing ceremony was just recently. This 377-room hotel in Adelaide City Centre will stay under Hilton management until June 2026, then transition fully to the Amora brand.
Another strategic move, expanding into key gateway cities.
Exactly. It's a milestone for Amora. The huge refurbishment, led by Cody Parker Architects, will upgrade pretty much everything: guest rooms, dining, wellness, reinforcing Adelaide's appeal. Finally, on the deals front, a major portfolio divestment by Action Hotels. 3 Accor-operated hotels in Melbourne are on the market for a combined $200 million. This includes Novotel Melbourne South Wharf, Ibis Melbourne Glen Waverley, and Ibis Budget Melbourne Airport. That's 575 rooms in total. What's strategically interesting is the flexibility. You can buy them individually, in combinations, or the whole set. Offers immediate scale in a very investable city.
That makes sense. Caters to different buyer types.
Right. These hotels apparently boast strong income performance, institutional-grade operations. With hotel demand bouncing back, they expect strong interest. Crucially, they're under hotel management agreements now, where Accor manages them for the owner. But there's an option to convert to franchise models, where the owner operates under the brand flag. That presents real potential for operational optimization, maybe even repositioning for a buyer. So looking at all these big financial plays, the rescue package, the debuts, the portfolio sale, what does this tell us about investor confidence, about the sector's financial health right now?
That's a great question because, yeah, these aren't just random deals. They paint a pretty clear picture, actually. We're seeing critical recapitalization for assets that were, frankly, troubled, like with Star Entertainment. That ensures market stability. Then you've got strategic market entries for global brands like Paradox Hotels, signaling they see growth potential in specific regions. And just across the board, the ongoing attractiveness of Australian hotel assets to diverse investors, institutional funds, family offices, you name it, it really highlights confidence. Confidence in the sector's rebound, its long-term stability. Even the flexibility in that Accor portfolio sale shows a sophisticated understanding of what investors want right now. So it all suggests that despite challenges, the sector is seen as resilient and ripe for strategic positioning for future growth.
It definitely feels like the financial pulse is strong. But what about the cutting edge? Let's shift focus to industry trends, innovations, starting with a major event, HITEC Indianapolis 2025. Happened June 16th to 19th. Nearly 6,000 hospitality pros gathered. It's really described as the world's largest, most influential hospitality tech conference. Over 360 exhibitors, packed keynotes. Truly a strategic compass for the future of hospitality. We even had Brendan Granger from Technology for Hotels representing us there. And from that compass, 6 key themes emerged that are really shaping hospitality now. First, AI integration beyond chatbots. AI isn't just a fancy chatbot anymore. It's becoming core to operations, moving towards what they call agentic processes. That means AI systems that can proactively take actions, make decisions on their own, automating complex workflows like managing RFPs, requests for proposals, dynamic pricing, even inventory, this whole concept of digital labor. It's poised to transform efficiency. Second theme, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. Makes sense, right? With more tech, cybersecurity becomes a top-tier priority. Protecting guest data now extends to all staff levels. It demands a security-first culture embedded in daily operations.
Absolutely critical. Non-negotiable for leaders now.
Mhm.
Regular training, robust protocols.
Exactly. Third, practical ethics in AI. This is a big discussion point, underscoring the importance of responsible AI adoption. Leaders are aligning around trust, transparency, keeping human oversight. Building ethical tech infrastructure is now seen as vital for long-term guest loyalty, making sure AI enhances, not detracts from, the human touch. Fourth, data integration and real-time access. AI's power is directly tied to the quality, the accessibility of hotel data. Simple as that. Platforms like Happy are centralizing siloed data, enabling smarter personalization, better operational insights, which actually led to Happy co-founder Luis Sagredo's induction into the HFTP Hall of Fame. A big deal.
Shows how critical that piece is. Breaking down silos is paramount to unlock AI's potential.
Fifth, emerging agentic use cases. This ties back to the first point. Agentic AI is actively transforming operations, automating tasks from guest inquiries right through to back-end checklists. Solutions like Levy's real-time execution agents are replacing manual processes with smart, scalable systems. The idea is freeing up human staff for those higher-value guest interactions. And finally, sixth theme. Loyalty gets personal. Hotel loyalty programs are shifting, moving from purely transactional value to more emotional value. Tools like Salesforce Loyalty Cloud are enabling hyper-personalized rewards, going beyond just points, focusing on memorable guest experiences, building deeper, more meaningful connections. Beyond HITEC, another important event, the HITEC Fiji Islands Investment and Tourism Summit. It returned June 24th to 26th at Sofitel, Fiji. This summit really shines a spotlight on local hotel owners, developers, tourism leaders in the Pacific, crucial insights into tourism, aviation, hotel investment there. And notably, registrations for HITEC Fiji 2025 doubled from last year, made it the biggest one yet. Shows the growing interest in that region. Now, digging deeper into trends, some fascinating new CBRE research highlights luxury lodges. They're pinpointed as the strongest performing segment in the Australian and New Zealand hotel markets right now.
Oh, interesting. What's driving that?
Well, robust demand from affluent domestic and international visitors mainly. They analyzed 7 luxury lodges, found a staggering 59% increase in total revenue per occupied room since 2018, and a 54% rise in profit margins, driven by growing global wealth, demand for bespoke, exclusive experiences, think places like Padar Island, Sapphire Freycinet. And they're operationally efficient, too. Averages 21 rooms, secure bookings 3-6 months ahead, leads to de-risked, high-margin operations. What's also fascinating is the shift in guest demographics. Millennials and Gen Z are increasingly investing in luxury travel, while domestic capital currently dominates ownership at 67%, foreign interest is rising, particularly from the U.S. and Singapore. They recognize the stable tourism sectors, the investment potential.
So they're evolving beyond just lifestyle assets.
Exactly. They're becoming institutional-grade assets, attracting ESG-focused funds, impact investors, reflects a broader shift in how these properties are viewed globally. So, considering all these innovations, these market shifts from HITEC, from the lodge research, what must hotel leaders prioritize now to stay competitive, to stay relevant?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it synthesizes where things are heading. Look, the imperative for tech adoption, especially AI, is undeniable. But, and this is crucial, it comes with a critical need for ethical considerations, for human oversight. And the power of these technologies is completely reliant on data integration, real-time access. So robust data management becomes a foundational pillar for smarter operations, for personalization. And then that niche but powerful growth of experiential luxury, like in the lodge sector, it just underscores the demand for unique, high-value, often sustainable experiences. So leaders, you need a dual focus. Embrace tech innovation and solid data strategies, yes, but simultaneously craft truly personalized, ethical, locally inspired guest experiences. Experiences that speak to the evolving demands of today's global, affluent traveler. That's how you stay not just competitive, but truly relevant.
That's a powerful framework for our listeners to think about. Okay, finally, let's wrap up our news updates with some key personnel announcements. The stars in motion, highlighting the dynamic leadership in our industry. First, congratulations to Ben Smith, recently awarded APAC GM of the Year at the Wyndham Global Conference. A really well-deserved recognition. We also welcome Luke Roberts-Lalalia as the new General Manager of QT Newcastle. He takes over from Michael Stambolidis, who's moved to lead QT Auckland, shows a clear career path within QT. And John Dixon is appointed General Manager of the upcoming Crown Plaza Geelong. That's the first key appointment for the AU $120 million waterfront hotel. John brings over 20 years of leadership experience. He'll focus on building a local team for the 200-room properties opening. It's part of that big AU $250 million Geelong Convention and Exhibition Center precinct. Significant regional development there. Mandarin Oriental also announced 2 senior hires in development. bolstering their growing residences and exceptional homes portfolio. Brad Berry joins as head of residences and homes, Philip Layton as head of Mandarin Oriental Exceptional Homes. Both started in June 2025, shows a clear strategic push into that high-end, long-stay luxury space. And for W. Sydney, Paul Andorakis has been appointed Director of Sales and Marketing.
These leadership changes are incredibly significant. They really are. They don't just reflect strategic focus, whether it's expanding new luxury segments like Mandarin Oriental or driving growth in key regional markets like Crowne Plaza Geelong. They also highlight the dynamism of talent movement. And recognizing excellence, like Ben Smith's award, it underscores how critical strong leadership is seen for driving innovation, maintaining brand integrity, navigating challenges and opportunities. It truly reflects where groups are investing their trust for future success. And for you as leaders, it really emphasizes the importance of developing and retaining top talent.
And with that, we've navigated the major themes shaping the hotel industry right now, from exciting new openings, strategic investments, to cutting-edge tech innovations and significant leadership shifts. Wow, quite a comprehensive look at the pulse of our industry.
It truly has been. And, as you consider this rapid pace of tech integration, the evolving landscape of investment, of guest expectations, here's a final thought for you to mull over. How are you identifying and nurturing the next generation of leaders and innovators within your own organization to navigate this future?
That wraps up this week's 5-Star Weekly Briefing. Thanks for tuning in and staying informed with the latest in the hotel industry. Until next time, stay well and stay ahead. See you next week.